Security and storage. With cryptocurrencies, you are the bank and you are responsible for your own security and the storage of your own public and private key pairs. So public and private key pairs, what are these? Well, the blockchain itself is very secure and Bitcoin itself has never been hacked. But you could consider the blockchain to be like a safe deposit box, but you still need to look after your keys, which are used to access that. If people get hold of your keys, then the safe deposit box is no longer very secure because someone's got your keys. So it's quite a good analogy for the blockchain and the public and private keys, especially the private key, which gives you full access to your account on the blockchain. So to access the blockchain, you'll have a public-private key pair. These keys or addresses are basically long alphanumeric addresses, and they are quite long, as I'm just gonna show you an example now, and I'm not going to read that out. I'm not even sure how many digits that is. It's quite a long address. You wouldn't be expected to remember that yourself. Some people do, but no, I wouldn't bother trying to remember that yourself. Anyway, these addresses, so you don't have to remember it, they have a printable QR code which you can keep and you can scan, so you don't have to keep typing this number out. You can share your public key with anyone, and all they can really do with that is pay into your account. So people literally share their public key or their public address with people on Twitter and they put it on their websites, and that's okay with your public key. However, you should never share your private key with anyone, because if you do, they can literally steal all your funds. It gives people full access to your account on the blockchain. So, like I've said, with the blockchain, you are responsible for your own security, and you do need to remember that. But don't worry, there are many ways that you can do this. So hot and cold storage. This is nothing to do with temperatures. Hot storage is basically online, so when you store your public and private keys online, that's considered to be hot storage. And cold storage is when your public and private keys are not available online in any way, so they're not available on the internet, so it means they kind of can't be hacked. So hot storage can potentially be hacked because your public and private keys are kept online somewhere. Cold storage cannot be hacked because your public and private keys are not available online, so it does make it impossible for them to be hacked from, somebody using a computer anywhere online. So hot storage, exchanges like Coinbase and Binance and some of the others that I mentioned earlier, these are all examples of hot storage. Mobile or PC app-based wallets are hot storage. If your PC or your laptop has ever been on the internet or is on the internet, and your mobile phone is probably connected to the internet, so these are considered hot storage as well. They are generally convenient because you can get access to your public and private keys online at any time from any place. So hot storage is convenient, but the price you pay is it's not as secure as cold storage. So some cold storage examples. Paper wallets, you can literally print out your public and private keys and the associated QR codes if you want. I'll give you an example of this in a second, but you could literally put them in a physical safe deposit box, lock them away. You can use electronic devices like the two on the right hand side that you can see. We've got the Trezor and the Ledger Nano S. These are very popular electronic devices that you can use for storing your public and private keys. So the advantage of cold storage is that it is very secure, and as I said earlier, you could literally, any cold storage method, you could literally take it and store it in a safe deposit box in a bank if you wished, and it never has to see the internet at all, so it can't be hacked in that respect. So this is an example paper wallet, It's one I created earlier. I mean, don't try and use this wallet. It's just a random one that I created. Feel free to do what you like with it, but I wouldn't use it. If you put any money into that wallet, then somebody will probably steal it straight away, because anybody who sees this course is going to have full access to it. But it's just a wallet I created just to show you the public and private keys. As you can see, you've got the Bitcoin address. That's your public key. That's why it says share in green, and the one that says red, secret, is your private key, which you wouldn't want to reveal to anybody if you had any money in that account. Now, I created this using a website called bitaddress.org. The best way to create a paper wallet is to use a computer. You don't have to go to this full extent, but if you wanted to use a computer that's been completely wiped or completely brand new, so it's never seen the internet, or it's had the operating system completely reinstalled so that there's no malware on there, you could actually use another computer to download this bitaddress.org website, use a USB stick, put that onto your computer, which you know is safe and there's no malware on it and it's not connected to the internet, so you turn off Wi-Fi and everything. You'd put the website on there, a copy of that, use this website on your computer that's not connected to the internet. You would use that to create a paper wallet, and then you can transfer your funds to that wallet, and it will have never seen the internet. So the reason I'm showing you this as an example is that it is probably one of the most secure methods of storing your cryptocurrencies. Now, it's not the easiest, it's not the most convenient, but if you generate a paper wallet on a computer that's never seen the internet, and you print that out and store it in a safe deposit box in a bank, you probably don't get much more secure than that. So if you really want security over convenience, then you should consider paper wallets. Okay, a little bit about keeping money on exchanges. Exchanges are convenient because it's easy to trade on exchanges like, Binance and Poloniex and even Coinbase, but they sometimes get hacked and they're not really safe for large sums of money. So only keep the minimum on exchanges that you need to make a trade, because you've got to remember, exchanges are really for trading cryptocurrencies. They're not for storing large sums of money on there. So the golden rule is use hot storage and treat it like your traditional wallet that you carry in your pocket. So unless you would carry every penny you own in your wallet, then you should just carry whatever you need for that day, or that's what you do in your traditional wallet. You wouldn't carry every penny you own. That would be ridiculous, because if you ever lost it, it's gone forever. So treat hot storage like your traditional wallet. Don't put any more in there than you really need to. And for cold storage, treat this like your traditional savings bank account, where the majority of your cryptocurrencies would go into cold storage, just like the majority of your pounds, euros, or US dollars would go into your savings account. It's a good general rule. So, as I said, and I need to reiterate this, exchanges are hot storage and aren't for storing large amounts of currency. And I know a lot of people still do that because it is convenient, but you really need to get out of the habit of storing a lot of money or a lot of cryptocurrency on exchanges. Also, this may sound obvious, but use complex passwords for any hot storage, so exchanges, stuff like that, because people will try and hack it, because there's a lot of money involved in hacking somebody's exchange account. You've got all your cryptocurrencies on there and they can move it away and it's untraceable, and if somebody does that, you're never going to catch them. So use complex passwords. And another rule is never share your password, even with technical support. Technical support should never need your password. Even the companies like Binance and stuff like that, they'll tell you not to trust their own staff. Not that they're particularly untrustworthy, but you just general rule, don't even give support your passwords. So also, most exchanges will give you the option to use two-factor authentication. Now again, this is a bit of a trade-off between convenience and security, because every time you log into an exchange, you're going to have to use another level of authentication, but it does provide a lot of security. Now what this is, the example that I use for the exchanges that I use is Google Authenticator, which is just an app that you put on your phone. And it's like these little key fob things that you get from banks sometimes for online banking, where every minute or so it'll give you a unique number that you type in when you log in. That just prevents any random person on the internet, even if they've got your login details, your password, they still need your mobile phone with that Google Authenticator on it to get into your account. So it's a good level of security. Again, you're trading off that convenience. You've got to have your phone with you, look at the number, type it in, but it is worth it. So I always recommend two-factor authentication. So a little bit about malware and scams. So cryptocurrencies are becoming more popular, and one thing about cryptocurrencies is that transactions can be untraceable. So this, as you can imagine, is great for criminals. If you join online communities, say Facebook groups, cryptocurrency Facebook groups, that sort of thing, expect messages from individuals that just sound too good to be true. You know, they're giving you offers. We can give us your Bitcoin and we'll give you 30% return every week or something like that. It sounds too good to be true. It is, and these are 99% of the time they are scams, and you get these messages all the time. So if it's a Facebook group, for example, just ignore them and report them to admin. Admin will normally remove their account immediately or remove them from the group. Be careful of malware on your computer too, like key swappers. There's types of malware out there that will be on your computer, will look when you, in your copy and paste buffer, they will look for addresses that look like sort of cryptocurrency private keys, and or even public keys, and they'll swap them for their own. So you think you're sending money to a specific address, you copy and paste, you put this address in, and it gets swapped over to the criminal's account, and you will end up sending money there by mistake. So what I always do is, when you're sending money or cryptocurrencies to an address, look at the first few characters and the last few characters, because you're not going to remember the whole lot. And when you've pasted, if you paste this value in where you're sending the money to, check the first few characters and the last few characters again. If you want to be really secure, just check the whole address when you've copied and pasted it to make sure a key swapper hasn't been used. So the example paper wallet earlier that I showed you can be generated offline, and I kind of explained this, on a computer which has never been connected to the internet. And the reason I've mentioned it again here is where we're talking about malware and stuff. If you generate a paper wallet like that, it can't be subject to malware. Malware, if it's generated on a computer that's never been on the internet, then it's the only way to kind of avoid the potential of malware stealing your keys or swapping them. So remember again that you are, with cryptocurrencies, responsible for your security. And if you lose your money, it's generally gone, and it's usually untraceable. And there's no banks to phone up. There's no, as we mentioned in earlier lectures, there's no central point of trust. So once the money's gone, it's usually gone for good. So just be careful of malware and scams, and if something seems too good to be true, it usually is.